Okay, picture this. There's 2 weeks to go and we still don't have any updates as to what the hell Highguard actually is beyond its announcement trailer. So what the hell is going on here? This situation is getting, well, it beggars belief. Look at this. Okay, so this is Reset Era, and this is actually from the 12th of December. Soldier Boy Advance. Anyone got the Soldier Boy console? They have posted some statistics here, which are, I think, actually quite telling. Because imagine if you've got the final slot of the biggest gaming show of the year and your trailer isn't even in the top 10 of people watching it. And like, that is a massive disaster. I mean, look at the figures here, right? So you got so this basically is most watched trailers from the Game Awards 2025 in thousands of views, right? So again, remember, this is from the 12th of December, this post went up, right? So, you know, figures would have changed a little bit now, but you're not by much, right? I think you can see the flow of traffic. So you've got Phantom Blade Zero, if I just scroll this down so you can see it above my head. Star Wars: The Fate of the Old Republic, yeah, I think I'm looking forward to that. Not too sure about Phantom Blade, but that's fine. Resident Evil, yeah. This, though, yes. Total Warhammer 40k, yes. Give me that. Inject it into my veins. Give it me. Like, I need that bad. Tomb Raider, yeah. Divinity, yeah. Give me some of that. Tomb Raider, yeah. I can't actually remember what that is, but whatever. Another Tomb Raider. Control, yeah. Lords of the Fallen 2, that's like a Dark Souls style thing, isn't it? Well, I think I actually played Lords of the Fallen. That was years ago, though. And Star Wars Galactic Racer. Post goes on to say, the closing announcement couldn't crack the top 15, which of course was Highguard. The previous chart, so they've edited this, the previous chart is as of 12 hours after the show. So that was the immediate reaction. The next one is from the IGN channel only. As far as I'm aware, no ads are running on these. Also 12 hours after the show. So what they mean there is you can run adverts. So I think the Riot fighting game one has got like 8 million views on it or something insane because they were running adverts and getting effectively artificial views on it, ad views, right? This, though, from IGN, it probably isn't because it's just been uploaded to IGN's channel. So they want the ad revenue themselves for showing the trailer, right? They don't want to be paying to get views because they wouldn't get no ad revenue and all that stuff. So theirs is a little bit different, but kind of similar, right? So you got Resident Evil, Star Wars: Fate of the Old Republic, Tomb Raider: Legacy of Atlantis. Then you got, well, I mean, the list goes on. Actually, there's a new addition there. Diablo 4 gets added. But then, if you go down, this one is 48 hours after the show. The IGN channel only. Phantom Blade Zero, again, you can sort of see where this is going, right? There's no Highguard. This is the main point I'm trying to make here. No one basically cares about the game, and they were in the biggest slot. And then this is most watched trailers on IGN 72 hours after the show. Again, you can see the thing, yada, yada. Now, this one, I really like this one because I need this game injected into my veins. So this is the most followed games on Steam after 72 hours. Look at Total War. Look at this. Oh, give it me. This is either going to be the greatest, best thing ever in the history of mankind. Because, like, oh my God, I need this. Or it's just going to be a creative assembly disaster. I hope it isn't. And I hope it's the former. But this could be mental. And then, of course, you see all that. But again, remember, there is no Highguard. So you're probably thinking like me, surely they've started tweeting. Surely something is going to happen, right? What is the plan? What is the announcement plan for this game? So I jumped over to their Twitter. I see this. Okay, a pinned tweet. That's fine. That's their trailer, whatever. I scroll down and I'm like, whoa, this is the 12th of December. There's still no new posts on this at all, which is a bit weird, isn't it? Because if you think, what is the plan here? You know, I've seen people commenting with, oh, they're going to shadow drop it. It's the old Apex Legends devs. They know what they're doing. They shadow dropped Apex Legends. Everyone was like, oh my God, and they all jumped onto it. Yeah, but there's one key thing you might be missing if you believe that. Nobody knew what Apex Legends was beyond a select few people. There was some internal testing stuff done with that, and I think they even took some content creators out prior to get feedback and stuff like that. But basically, that game was just immediately dropped. People didn't know it was coming. Boom, there you go. New Battle Royale game. Let's get it, right? That was sick. Highguard, well, we were told about this on the 12th of December. You can't shadow drop the game that we already know about. That would be, it's impossible. Like, what is that? It's impossible. So, of course, that means there must be a plan, right? There's got to be some sort of marketing build-up. So you would think you'd market during, you know, the holiday period, the Christmas period, where, you know, everyone is consuming loads of media to kind of get your name out. And there's only 2 weeks left to go. Like, what's the plan here? What is the plan? What about the YouTube channel? It's the same old story. There's just one video on the YouTube channel. That's it. It's just the trailer. So, talking of the trailer, I've muted the trailer, so don't worry about it. But This, if you want to believe the figures next to me here, is quite bad. I mean, 56,000 dislikes and 4,800 likes. And why? You know, you look at this. I've watched this trailer back quite a few times because obviously I was editing it into videos, and I was like, you know, it can't possibly be that bad. It's one of those things that just looks like, you know, when people throw around the whole thing with Concord, they say it just looks like Concord. It's like a game designed by a focus group, which it doesn't really, it looks like it doesn't want to take any risks. You know, a game for everyone, game for no one, right? That's a famous comment, or I guess quote, that Johan from Helldivers made in regards to Helldivers, how they didn't want to go for every type of, you know, game, and they wanted to make a very good game for a specific type of gamer, and that's worked quite well. This game, I think it's just suffering from looking way too generic. That's the problem. It looks like every other shooter that's come before it, and it doesn't seem to have its own identity, because again, you've got this sort of like medieval fantasy, high tech, you know, I mean, look at that character. It's absolutely forgettable. It's just totally forgettable, these characters are. I mean, the main guy, I'll tell you what he looks like. He looks like the guy. When I go and get my haircut in the UK, the barbers have got all these like guys on the wall with different haircuts, and you can pick one. That's what this guy looked like. Straight up, this guy is the guy from the barbers. Like, what? But anyway, what I'm saying is it's just generic beyond belief. That's the problem. So the way to cut through this is they needed to come out with loads of gameplay and explain what this is, because if it's got killer gameplay, maybe that can actually pull it through, and we're not going to sit here and just be like, oh, well, this is just generic beyond belief. Because you see things here like there's destruction. There's this whole mechanic where you're dropping down the shields in the enemy base and using a massive like trebuchet and ram that spawns and smashes through the thing. The shields come down, you're attacking the base. It's cool, but I don't know how it plays. You've got to tell me, guys. Like, no one is telling me how this game plays. It comes out in 2 weeks, so I literally don't care. It's mad, this is. If it was shadow dropped, be a completely different thing. If they dropped it, I mean, shit, maybe that was the plan. At the end of the Game Awards, they were just going to drop the game. Maybe that's what it was, but for some reason it's not finished and they didn't do it. So now they're left in this shit show of, oh my God, we've got 2 weeks. Well, not 2 weeks, but we've got like a month or so before the game launches. We need to do something to market it. That could actually be what happened. So I think one thing that's apparent here is the community reaction has just been like very negative. We're going to go and take a look at Twitter. And I know Twitter itself is inherently negative. It's one of the reasons I don't really bother posting on it anymore. But it's like, unfortunately, it has a lot of reaction. It has a lot of breaking news. Companies still use it to promote their stuff. So it is a place where, unfortunately, you do get more stuff posted on it as opposed to things like Blue Sky and other competing platforms. But if you look at this, right, so this is allow us to reintroduce ourselves. We're Wildlight Entertainment, and of course they're making Highguard. So these are loads of developers from major studios. They all got together and they've been working on this game for the last few years at a new company called Wildlight Entertainment. It's mainly Apex Legends devs and all of that kind of stuff, right? They've heavily advertised that. In fact, you could even argue that that has been a problem with their advertising, because if you're coming out and saying it's from the Titanfall devs, it's from the Apex Legends devs, and guess what? By the way, we're not making a Titanfall 3 style game. We're making a generic hero shoot with the most generic visuals you've ever seen in your life. You're like, what the fucking hell is this shit? So not a great deployment strategy, let's say, and something that probably needs to be avoided. You don't want to be like, these are our past successes, and so guess what? We're going to begin the introduction of our next game saying, we made these awesome games. Here's our new game. Oh my God, what is this? If our new game was something insane, then yeah. But when it's just generic beyond belief, at least from that trailer, you're like, what the shit is this? Like, the people in charge of the marketing for that probably have had some very interesting conversations, let's say. So anyway, you scroll down on this and you see the responses, right? And you're going to just see, again, remember, this is Twitter. People like to be negative, especially if they've got a blue tick, because that's how they get paid. Shit's going to flop so hard. Get your resumes up to date and ready to send. Oh dear. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what a team trying to save an already dead game after what is a disastrous Game Awards announcement looks like. Generic idea, generic looking characters, set in a generic looking world with generic aesthetics. It just doesn't look like it's taking any risk. This was the problem with Concord. You know, and the great joke with Concord is the actual mechanics, the shooting mechanics in the game were okay, but the game world was just too generic. And yeah, you'll have to update the player models. None of them look unique. It's feeling like a Concord 2.0. We could just keep going on here, but I'm not, because you guys know where this is already going to go. So one thing that's kind of funny to me is this. I mean, this is the website. It's got a countdown to the launch. It's like, yeah, we're going to launch in 14 days. But again, still, it doesn't contain any information based off, or any additional information as compared to when we looked at this the other week. I mean, it's just like, It's so odd. This is really, really odd what's happened to this game. In fact, I've never even seen anything like this before. It's so odd, the marketing for this game. There is a game, though, that's kind of done a similar thing here, although the difference is this game actually came out into a public alpha and then went away to work on some of the problems, and has clearly got more development time and is not on, I guess, such a constrained time budget that the Wildlight developers are on for Highguard. And it's this game, right? And I don't really make any apologies for using this as an example, because Marathon, they have kicked... I mean, this game comes out in March, right? So it comes out in 2 months' time, and I think it's going to... this is... I don't think this is a hot take. Well, maybe it is a little bit. I don't think this is going to flop. I think this is going to sustain a decent player base, because I think people are going to buy the game. They're going to be invested. It's only $40. That'll invest them into the game. I think it's got a decent gameplay loop. I can't really talk too much about what it's like, I guess, now, because there's been internal play tests, and I have been in some of those, and it's under NDA. But even based off the footage we can see through their account, which is why I wanted to show this, they're starting, like here, there's some closed footage alpha test from December, or I guess closed test. They're starting to put out content about the game. They're starting to try and build that layer, that foundation of a community. And this is a good thing to do, right? They're getting it out. They're showing what the game looks like. They're giving sort of a peek at the way the systems have changed. Like, there's a lot of new additional things in the game now, which people asked for before. Things like the proximity voice chat, which was definitely needed, and now that's in the game, so it's much better. Yeah, and it's a Bungie game, so it has decent gunplay. But again, like, look, they're dropping all of these things. These views, whether they can be believed or not on Twitter, who knows? But I mean, these are views. These are people that are engaging with it, right? So they are, there's none of this with Highguard. It just doesn't make any sense. It don't make any sense. It's crazy. What the hell? Okay, it's time for some hot takes, right? What's going on with Highguard? I think throughout this video, I've almost convinced myself that they probably intended to show this sort. I mean, so why, like... Unless you're in a bubble, believing your game is the greatest thing ever, which I do think happens to some of these development teams. Like, they're sniffing their own farts like you wouldn't believe. But even if they're not doing that, right, they're like, okay, we're going to get the final slot of the Game Awards. We're going to need to make an impact, right? But we're looking at our game. It looks generic as shit. Surely people would tell them this. Whatever focus groups they're in, they go, it just doesn't look... the character's forgettable. It just looks whatever. This isn't particularly great. Your gameplay might be insane. Who knows? We don't know. They've not told us. But you take that final slot, you advertise your game, people's reaction is like, what the hell is this? But then maybe the plan was, oh, and by the way, it's playable now. So we don't have any additional sort of media to explain how the game is played, because you will be playing it right now. Okay, I'm going to add this because this is kind of funny. So I'm editing the video at the moment, and I've just realized at the end of the trailer, it says Play 3, January the 26th, 2026. So it was always the plan to launch on the 26th of January. There was no plan to shadow drop this ever, because it's literally in the trailer that they uploaded on the 12th for the Game Awards. Maybe that was the plan, and something... I mean, it's the only thing I can think of that would redeem them from this mess. And then, for whatever reason, the game wasn't ready, or they couldn't actually drop the game then. So they're going forward to the launch date now, and they haven't actually got any pre-planned marketing ready for it, which to me is just frigging crazy. Now, of course, this could have always been the plan, and if it is, again, that's frigging crazy. Like, what are we doing? What's going on here? It's crazy. What do you guys think anyway? Someone's got to work this out. And when they start dropping news, but it'd be my luck, they'll drop news as I upload this video. But like, when they start dropping news and updates, it's going to be under a microscope like you wouldn't believe this game. It's setting itself up for Concord 2.0. It's setting itself up for the first flop of the year. It's like, come on, can it survive? I don't know. And also, it's free to play, this game. So again, that's a super difficult arena to go into, because there's a lot of games out there. But again, would someone pay for this because of how generic it looks? I don't know. Anyway, all right, guys, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. I'm Stylosa, but I think Highguard, oh dear, it's the drama is building, I think, with this game, and I think everyone is watching this to see where it goes. All right, thank you for watching the video, guys. Do like the video if you think you enjoyed the video. Do subscribe to the channel. That helps a lot. And yeah, I'll catch you lot on the next video. See you soon.